Hello and welcome to the Halo Forge Epidemic. This is AbleSir Thomas, and I'm here with Yardbird92,
Hey guys.
and we're here with our newest invasion lesson, and this is called 3x3 Theory, and this was made by Halo Women Sarge and Halo Women. And specifically, 3x3 is the unifying theory of all of invasion, and it has to deal with how fire teams interact with the geometry of the map, how they interact with each other, and how they interact with the objectives. And there's two main principles to this 3x3 theory, and the first one is the fire team approaches, and the second is the territory division. So I'm going to go ahead and let Yardbird start off on fire team approaches.
Alright, before we begin, I do want to mention that the very first video that Able and I presented to you guys was called Basic Invasion Mechanics. And it was basically the first half of this 3x3 theory. It talked about the fire team approaches and how they work together to provide a unique invasion experience. So right now we're just going to recap. And if you want a really in-depth explanation as to what the fire team approaches are, we recommend you watch that video. Again, it's Basic Invasion Mechanics. But for now, let's just do our recap here. The main point for the fire team approaches is that for the attackers, there's three different approaches to choose from when moving up to the objectives. You've got a left team approach, a right team approach, and a middle team approach. And the important concept is each fire team should be encouraged to move through their own approach. Basically, the left team should be encouraged to move through the left approach, the right team should be encouraged to move through the right approach, and the middle team should be encouraged to move through the middle and support the left or right teams as they see fit. Of course, I'm saying they should be encouraged. I'm not saying that they should be restricted to these approaches. I mean, there's no reason why a right team can't move through the left, but they're not encouraged to, and they shouldn't be encouraged to. They should just spawn and, oh, okay, I can move forward. There's cover here. I can keep moving all the way to the objective. And that's the main theory behind fire team approaches. Again, if you want a more in-depth explanation, feel free to watch our first video again. That is Basic Invasion Mechanics. But for now, let's just talk about the territory division.
And I'll go ahead and start off here with the first segment of territory division, and that's the spawning. Now, when you spawn in any game type, you want to see what's in your surroundings, and it's specifically invasion. You want to see what's going on, and you want to stay alive. You don't want to get spawn killed. So the first idea is to move to cover. So you can move to this rock, you can move to this other rock here in the middle approach, and stay safe and kind of survey what's going on and see if you can push up. And as you push up, you enter the neutral territory, and this is where players are going to be contesting for ground, and this is going to be one of the more important sections of 3x3, and specifically the most important section of all invasion. And I'm going to go ahead and let Yardbird talk more about that.
Yeah, one thing I really do want to mention about this neutral territory, after you've left your spawn area, you've survived, you've gotten to cover, and you've moved forward, the unique portion about this neutral territory is this is where you can really utilize the buddy spawn system for invasion. This is where invasion becomes its own game and separates itself from other Halo Reach style gameplay. Basically, when you're running through any invasion game at any point through any tier, you always want to be moving with your battle buddy. This guy is kind of your lifeline for the game. Yeah, that guy right there. Yeah, I'm gonna die.
Yeah. So
basically,
you do want to work with your battle buddy, and you want your battle buddy to be able to spawn on you. If one of you ends up dying in the spawning area because some elite was trying to spawn kill you, then you're able to spawn them back in the neutral territory, so you can keep the pressure on the defenders, and that's something that's really important.
And one unique thing about invasion is your battle buddy is the only guy that you can see with a clear waypoint from any part of the map. You can look around. If he's through 3 different cave rocks, I can still see, oh, there's Able. There's my battle buddy. But you don't want to have to do that. You want to stick with your battle buddy. So we're traveling up to what is this? This would be our Bravo objective, wouldn't it?
This is Alpha.
This is Alpha?
Yeah.
Oh, so it is. Okay. So anyway, Able and I were attacking Alpha, and let's say I died in battle. Now, Able, being a good battle buddy, he's not going to sit there and say, oh, I can get them all. I can get all the elites. Rawr. He's actually going to fall back into the neutral territory, and he's going to wait for me to spawn in. That way, we both don't have to respawn way back at the beginning of the map. He can spawn me in halfway to the objectives, and we can keep the pressure on the elites the whole time.
And also, as a defender, it's about contesting the neutral territory. You want to keep attackers away from your objective. It's kind of like if someone was going to rob your house and you saw them in your front lawn and you had a gun. You don't want to wait till they get to your front door and they could possibly hurt you at your front door. You want to shoot them in the front lawn. You want to keep them away from you. And it's the same idea as a defender. You don't want to defend from the objective, because if you defend from the objective, there's a good chance that they can kill you and take it. But if you can contest them before they get to the objective, then you can not only give more problems for attackers, but you're actually giving yourself a second chance, because if you die, you can actually respawn in time to contest them at your own objective. Something that's really important. And something else to note when you're engineering your neutral ground and your objectives is that you'll need to allow people to have a backup plan. You need to allow attackers, when they go into the objective, if they need to retreat and pull back to the neutral ground. As you can see, there's a bit of cover here. There's lots of little corners and things I can run behind if I'm getting naded or getting chased by elites. I can just sprint back here and then jump back into the junkyard here and get some cover and spawn Yardbird back in, and we'll push another push on the objective. It's something that's really important to consider. And so as we go through here, we end up coming into the final territory, and this is, of course, the objective area. Now, the objective area favors defenders, and it absolutely has to favor defenders. It's going to be very difficult for attackers to take this. But like I said, you always have to engineer those backup plans for them. And something else that's good to note is that even though there can be slight elevation changes from objective to objective, when you're actually taking an objective, you need to be fighting on even ground. The objective doesn't need to be on some kind of raised platform. When players are contesting the objective, they're fighting on even ground, so it allows attackers and defenders to equally contest that objective. And something else to note, of course, is your sprint distance. I'm going to reiterate this because some people have not gotten it through their heads, is that you absolutely have to have your territories just about a sprint apart. Maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter, depending on if it's elite defense or elite offense. But it's absolutely imperative that you have that distance. Because if you don't, it just doesn't work with reach-style gameplay. Something else to note is that defenders are going to spawn behind the objectives or around the objectives, and they always have a line of sight on their objective. And while they do have a line of sight on their objective, they don't have a direct line of effect. You can't... If me and Yardbird are elites and we spawn here, we can throw some nades at the objective, sure, but we're probably not going to be able to kill those Spartans. They have lots of cover, and that's a rather large objective, so we actually have to move up and try to get some beatdowns, or maybe use our plasma repeaters or needlers to kill them. We have to dedicate ourselves to that. And something else to note when you're forging is that as a Spartan, when you're looking at the map, Bravo is on your left and Alpha is on your right. And it's always going to be like that. And when you design your maps, you have to design that so that when veteran players are playing the map and they hear Alpha under attack, they instantly know which side to go to. And I think that just about wraps it up, Yarber. Is there anything else you want to go ahead and mention?
Not. I think we covered it all, but I do want to reiterate one thing that we like to mention at the end of all of our videos. Able and I, we highly recommend that the best way for you to forge on any kind of map is to play games with that game type. So if you want to build an invasion map, we recommend you go and play invasion matchmaking. Play Boneyard, play Spire. It doesn't matter if you like one or the other more. Play them both anyway, just so you can get a feel for how the different species react on different positions.
Yeah, exactly. And you can develop your invasion instincts. So as you're playing and you're forging, you can kind of intuitively understand what kind of things you want in your map. And we'll go into more stuff like that, and we'll break down tiers in later videos. And something else, guys, is that we're going to go ahead and link the invasion conceptualization again. We definitely recommend you read it. It has a lot of the things we talk about in the video in it, and it might help you if you read over that as well as watching this. And we'll definitely be hosting some more invasion customs here in the future, and we have some interesting projects brewing up, so you guys watch out for that too. All right, so that about wraps it up. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yep, this is Able and Yardbird signing out.
Signing off.